Oh, welcome back, Cachorro. It's time for a movie review, and as you can see, I have my Regal Mountain Dew here, so it is fresh off the presses. I just saw this. Maybe it's been a couple hours, so I gave myself some time. Get a little taste that movie Mountain Dew. So, obviously, we are talking about the new big horror movie, Evil Dead Burn, and interesting takes I've seen around things on people on it. I really like the movie. Totally enjoyed this movie. I don't buy into the hate everything culture that we have these days, which is what I think is kind of going on with some of the people yapping about this movie. Uh, Brutal as hell, man. This movie made me just go oh a few times. Which is what Evil Dead movies usually do. They're known for their over the top gore. So we get tons of gore, lots of gore. This movie supposedly almost got an NC-17 rating. Supposedly they had to water some stuff down. So I think that's also kind of goes to get some of the knocks I heard where people are like, you choose what to show, what not to show. Yeah, because it would have been NC-17. So it would have made no money at that point. So really good. The gore's great. Story is decent enough. I mean, it's easy to follow. It's a simple story. It's Evil Dead. It's not like these things are Oscar-winning story movies. That's a good enough story. They're continuing the legacy of that. There's all these. They're making they're pretty much opening up to this Evil Dead universe kind of thing. So you got multiple books of the dead. They start exploring more of them. This was a concept introduced in Army of Darkness that there was multiple books. And this one focuses on a weapon that kills the deadites and the demons out of their bodies and sends them, I guess, back to hell. So basic story, so it's easy, pretty easy to follow. It's a dark, gritty film. There's some great cinema shots in this film. I mean, obviously some great gore. Uh, I've seen some people whining about the CGI use. There is some CGI use. For the most part, it's perfectly fine. I mean, there's going to be It's a fucking 2026. You're going to get CGI in every fucking movie because it's better than other stuff that looks better and more realistic than shots that you could do practically that would look really bad and fake nowadays. You watch the original Evil Dead movies, they're campy. They're campy. That's what you like about them is they're campy. They look fake as hell. Well, this is a 2026 horror movie. It's not supposed to look fake as hell. So yes, there's gonna be CGI stuff and this stuff, and people need to just get the fuck over that. I will say though, the final act does heavily involve a CGI character, which I'm pretty sure Rise did as just like Evil Dead Rise did. So I mean that part, so that one looked a little over the. That one is where it kind of did look a little bad. But for the most part of the movie, blending in the CGI with the practical effects looked really good. Uh, I really thought a lot of the characters were good, or a lot of the scenes were, the scenes were good. Character wise, they're basic characters. I mean, there's nobody that sticks out. You don't get. I mean, yeah, sorry, you're not gonna get the Bruce Campbell Ash anymore. He's too old, and he's kind of got other things going on in his life that he needs to worry about. I'm pretty sure didn't he announce that he has cancer? I believe on Twitter, I believe. So keep fighting, Bruce. Uh, but it's a solid cast. They do their parts. I mean, these guys are people that we've seen in things before. The guy from Daredevil, one of the bad guys from the Daredevil TV shows in it. From the Disney Plus ones. I think he's also in Wednesday. Uh, or French Girl. Has done a few things. I think a lot of it does come back to is our main character is a female, so I think there's some hidden people hating on that. That's not that common. That's a normal trope for horror movies as well. Most horror movies have the characters that are females. Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, uh, Scream. For the most part, it's always been I think every Scream is a female lead. So that's kind of a given for horror movies. that they always lean towards that. But the characters, I think, do fine enough. They tie some stuff in. There's some references to the previous movie. There's two key references to that movie. Then there's also which I have to go back and see what it was because they tie in stuff that I thought to the original movie, but it couldn't be who I thought it was. So I kind of need to go back and see if they retconned anything there or not. Or maybe it was 2013, something with 2013 too. But it's very solid. I'm going to give it a 7.5. So I'll give it a 7.5. It's not the best movie in the Evil Dead franchise. It's not the worst either. I mean, sorry. To be fair, the worst is Army of Darkness. It's a great movie. It's a cult classic, but it's campy. It's pure comedy, and so I mean that's probably would be the bottom of the barrel. But it's like saying, "Who's your favorite kid?" There are these. This whole every Evil Dead movie is great in its own way. The first one for super campiness. The second one for it's a great comedy. The 2013 movie was just pure brutality. It's probably the most brutal of the movie probably the most brutal one that they ever made. Rise I thought was fucking fantastic because you got the extremely great performance from the mother. People seem to hate on that movie. I think she was one of the best Deadites we have ever had. She just embodied that role perfectly. She was so fucking fantastic. Uh, but seeing stuff about that again is just showing people bitch about her and hate on her, and that's ridiculous because she was insanely good in that movie. If a horror movie could get an Oscar, she would. I would be my pick. But super solid movie. It's definitely worth watching. Strange enough, like I said, there's people that don't like it. We did have two groups and that were sitting behind me because we were in a small theater. I went to a small theater that usually doesn't get that many people in it. That did walk out in the final act of the movie, which the movie was nowhere near. I mean, even if I'm being biased, there's nowhere near it would be bad enough to walk out. So I assume it had to be the overtop gore that got him, maybe. But strange reaction is that it's not a terrible. I mean, yeah, it's not a terrible movie. It's a pretty solid movie. I really liked it. So there's two post credit scenes, a mid and a end credit scene. One's just a nice little throwaway. The final one is pretty good if you're a fan. If you are a fan of the whole movies, and it kind of helps connect stuff to Evil Dead Rise a little bit. So I'll save the details on that for right now until we get to my next part. So yeah, solid, great gore, solid story, solid acting performance from the people. Guess I think some of the complaints I was seeing is people said the characters aren't likable, but most of them weren't supposed to be likable. Based on the story, you're not supposed to really like the one. Why people would say they'd hate the main character. I mean, I thought her character was fine. I mean, she's a trauma person. She's had to deal with trauma, getting stuck in the situation and rising above it. One character I thought would be a little more significant turned out to be not as much, but it's a small cast, so it's more about people getting. It's more about the brutality and suffer and torture than it is about kills because there's not a lot of kills in the movie since it's a very small knitted cast in the house in the woods kind of setup. But yeah, solid 7.5. Totally worth watching if you like horror and gore movies. If you're not a big blood and gore fan, you might want this is not for you. But if you're a big love your blood, your gore, and your horror, it's totally worth watching. It's got some great brutality scenes and over the top Evil Dead, stuff you expect from Evil Dead movie. So we'll talk about some more spoiler thingies. So now's your chance to turn away from that part if you haven't seen the movie yet. All right. So, I guess I could. This is not really spoilers yet, but it's got a 71% critic score, which is actually surprising from critics, 81% audience score so at the moment, so that's cool. And boom. Boom. We'll switch to that screen. I probably should edit it out, but screw it. We'll leave it in. Boom. So let's see. So our right now it's IMDb is this 6.9, so that's right around that. So it was directed by Sebastian Vanchisk. So let's see what he's done. Infested, Crocs, Evil Disso. It's not that much. Infested sounds like a horror movie for sure. Crocs. So it's a new director on the scene for the most part. He wrote it as well. A couple people to help with him. So it's our cast. Our main person is Alice, who is Sophia Yacoub. French, I'm assuming Geneva. So she's plays a French girl in the movie. She was in Dune Part 2. And we have Hunter Doham, who was Bastion from Daredevil, and he played a character Wednesday. It's not very good. It's not very good picture, but Lucina Buckman plays his girlfriend and wife. I'm not sure what their relationship was. Then we have these are the parents of speaking areas William of our character here. George Puller. Has he been in anything? Not too much that I know there. And of course, here's one of our big Evil Dead Rises. I didn't realize that. I didn't even put these pieces together until afterwards. So we gotta have our big kill scene. So we open with two fishermen on the lake, and there's a deadite in the water that pretty much kills them both. It's the girl from Evil Dead Rise. So the opening scene of that was a bunch of people that went on a summer getaway to a lake house, and one of them was infected. It was a deadite, and she kills all her friends. And then we see at the very end of the movie, the post-credit scene is where she got infected, where she was like leaving the apartment because turns out she lived at the apartment complex, and as she was leaving is when she got possessed. So that it's directly connected to that, and it's directly, so that means this movie directly follows that movie. So then we go, it's a birthday party at a club. Supposedly our guy down here runs like a restaurant club thing. He's married to our main chick here. He's kind of a rough marriage. He's kind of controlling a little bit. He's kind of abusive, and kind of is always like giving her a hard time for just her being herself and doing her own thing. And this is his brother. So they get into a fight. He takes off drunk in his car, where he wrecks into Jessica and dies. And so then that leads us to a funeral scene, so Evil Dead movies always have some comedy mixed in. So this one, instead of having like a real comical deadite, so usually it's a deadite that's pretty comical. I mean, the Evil Dead Rise, it was like there's some moments I guess where the mom was kind of would say something, was kind of provided a little comedy here and there, parts of it. Here's just some kind of comedy scenes. They're having a funeral and there's construction going outside, so there's the construction noises going over the top of the funeral. And we kind of get the feeling that that she doesn't get along with his parents. They seem to be kind of not very welcoming towards her, and then they all go back. So after the funeral, they go to cremate the body, and we do get a hilariously over the top black characters doing stereotypical stuff that's not really. He's got to put on his headphones and jam to his music while he's getting ready to cremate the body. And then the dad's there. The dad comes in, wants to say his piece, and then the son, comes back to life as a possessed demon and kills our cremator. And then we cut to the car ride home. And so now the rest, they're going to their family home. For some reason, this rundown house in the woods that was left to the brother, who used to be for their grandpas. Their grandpa was this big occult guy who was, you know, he's a voice on one of the tapes talking about the Necronomicon stuff. So that's why I kind of thought he was tied to the guy from the that was studying at the cabin. Except for his wife is supposed to be the old lady that's there. It's kind of got dementia, so that would not fit into his story. But he's supposedly had some connections to the people that were like studying the stuff. So with there's this dagger that can kill the spirit, the evil spirit inside the deadite, and it's the only. So this once it's uncovered, the deadites can sense it, and they are drawn to try and because they want to try and get it to destroy it. So that's the super plot of the story. And then, like the other plot is the son died. It was the wife. He was abusive to his wife, the French woman that was his wife, and now his family's, well, the parents kind of treat her like shit, and blame her for everything, and so then that's where things quickly just spiral downward. We find out the dad is possessed. Uh, and then she gets possessed. So we have two deadites kind of like running around for a while at the end, torturing the family. And then as it moves on, we slowly possess the other ones. Everyone else kind of slowly dies and gets possessed, and until we get our main girl, and it's all about them finding. So just brutal stuff. A lot of good scenes. There's like a continuous shot that was the first trailer. So well done. Even watching on the big screen, it was so really well done. We have a couple other shots that were just super good. Like I said, there's some brutality stuff that just makes you just cringe. The opening scene involved imagine ways to torture people with fish hooks on their face. If that helps you. So much stuff that just made you go, oh. I won't go full thing with the story. So they end up, she finds the dagger and she's able to start putting down some of the deadites. The husband, who's a burnt to a crisp, comes back at the end. There's teasing that he obviously saw him come. He came out of the coffin and possessed the father, but he finally makes his appearance at the end, and he's the fully CGI character because his body is half burnt away. So there's parts where he probably didn't look the best. But you gotta have the big, Resident Evil boss monster thing to fight at the end. So his looks probably were the weakest, and it ends with her obviously beating him. And the interesting part is she gets found by like some cops and firefighters, and I'm like, I don't know how the hell is she gonna get out of this story? Oh well, the demons start possessing my family and burn down the house and everybody. And I mean, she's got wounds. She's been tortured to no defense. So, I mean, it's definitely go. But it's kind of interesting when it's like, how do you get away from it? How do you get around telling the cops about this? Our first mid-credit scene is showing that the granny, the old lady, when she got possessed, she's not dead. She's just roaming around. She kills like a person that can't stop that side of the road to help her. Then the final scene goes back to the funeral home from the beginning, and the caretaker's there with her. I guess her daughter, who looks more like she should be a granddaughter because she looks like there's a big age gap there. And they got all these cremated body ashes there that haven't been claimed by anybody yet. And the grandma leaves, and the little girl's looking at the names, and we see the name of. This is the big spoiler. of her character from the Evil Dead Rise. Ellie was her name in that movie. So she sees the ashes and she starts hearing voices, and then looking at the mirror, the mother appears and starts talking to her. The lights flicker, and then she's there, and she fucking murders this little girl. So they kind of show. So I guess everybody's bitching about that because she's supposed to be dead, and that's not how deadites work. I mean, I think you can. Movies can make fun with the lore. Y'all praise Jurassic World Rebirth for its reinvention of stuff that was absolutely fucking stupid in my eyes. So I can. So if the people are going to excuse that shit, I can excuse them coming up with new ways that deadites work. Safe to say. You can. So the ashes were there, so she's able to spirit realm herself to show up again. And she's one of the best fucking deadites we've ever had. I mean, she is. I mean, the only one that's probably up there more is the evil Bruce Campbell deadite clone. But she was so fantastic in the role. I mean, you had to find a way to bring her back because she's. I just noticed there's scenes playing, so I don't want to get copyrighted. She was so fantastic in the role. So I was she. Will they bring back that? They bring her back for another movie? Who knows? I mean, it could have just been a little fun cameo to connect the group. I mean, technically they didn't need to do that since they did do that with her, reprising her role as the I guess technically she was the stunt double of the girl in the first movie, so I guess so she was the actress. But you kind of already did her to connect it. And so now we got a couple of books have shown up. Now we have a weapon that kills them. So then I guess we could go into. I believe there should, like I said, there should be a third book. So we're setting up this, cinematic universe using all the different things in Necronomicon, and I can't remember what they called the other book. Technically, I think people said the 2013 movie is about the third book. I think I don't ever watch that one in a long time. Um, that one might have been about. Also, I guess maybe we've had something with all the books. Now a weapon, and now we can maybe put. They have a movie that puts everything together. I don't know. See where it goes. But I said this. People, some of the takes I saw on this is been people whining about the CGI. I mean, the CGI is fine except for like the last act. If you whine about the story was suffice enough to get by. The likable characters, the parents aren't supposed to be liked. She's just a whatever chick, anyways, and she's a flawed PTSD survivor, trauma survivor from being abused by her husband, and she's an okay character. I mean, to be fair, Ash isn't a very good person either, and people just like him because he's funny. I mean, he's kind of an a-hole for the most part, but he's a lovable a-hole. So it's not like most of the time, most of your females in horror movies aren't great characters. I mean, was Nancy anything really special? Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, they did more with what's it? I don't know. What's Michael Myers' sister's name? I can't think of what her movie name character name is. She wasn't all that in the early. She was the blah character in the first movies either, and then they flushed her out more when they did the bring her back as kind of forgot the actress too, Jamie Lee Curtis. In fact, so when they brought her back is when they finally actually gave her character more depth. I mean, in the original movie, she wasn't much of anything either. So I was like, people complain about things just to complain. I mean, she does fine. The rest of the cast does fine. These two aren't supposed to be like super likable characters. She gets weird. I I really enjoyed the movie. That's basically it. That's it. Go see it. It's worth seeing. And can't compare it to those other two horror movies because I haven't seen them yet still, so sorry. Every time I say I'm going to make shot time for them, I never get around to going. So, see how this does. It came out against the live action Mona, which I think supposedly was not looking good. I think, which is the third kids movie in like a month that come out. So people are like trying to fuss about all the poking fun at these movies that are flopping, like Masters of the Universe, which was fucking fantastic, Supergirl, which was okay. Um, I think Minions didn't do as well. I don't know how. I don't know if it's they would flop, but I think it underperformed what it was expecting. You think there's too many movies coming out right on top of each other. I think they're gonna. I think the problem isn't. Oh, these movies aren't good. It's just you're oversaturating the market with too much shit and people can't go. I mean, if one person going to the movies and getting popcorn and a drink is already going like $30, at least over 20. It's like 14 for a ticket. Yeah, it's close to $30. Where I have a Regal pass, so and then also let's me get cheaper popcorn and my cheaper drink. So yeah, it's expensive, and you got three kids movies, so you got to take your kid to see several. So you can't take your kid to all three movies, and then you still want to see a couple movies yourself, like Supergirl and Evil Dead and He Man. I mean, you can't see all these movies. It's going to run you like over $100 a month to keep up with movies. And then what we got coming after this is the Odyssey's, I think, next week. Spider Man's in 2 weeks. I think we're going to see a summer movie period that's not going to be that great. So we can get this to work. Let's see. Video Rise made 6 million on Friday. The Minions movie 37. Toy Story was still number 2. Young Washington, whatever movie that's supposed to be. This is coming up. Odyssey comes out. And we get a little breather. So that's gonna like a 2 week breather because Spider-Man didn't want to go up again. As the Fifth Element gets a re-release, I might check that out if I can. It doesn't even have Spider-Man on there, does it? Ha do do do. Where is Yearly? This is a weird way of doing it. What am I looking at? Oh, is this the top movie of the year so far? Super Mario? So Super Mario is like the top movie of the year? So I click on 26. So Mario. Their top. This is domestic. Let's go to worldwide. So Mario so far is our only $1 billion movie of the year. Michael is might hit there. It's because that one's kind of got legs that it keeps creeping and creeping. Toy Story is probably looking as possible. It could maybe. I think Toy Story is starting to has to start be losing its wheels. It's staying up there pretty good, but it's got to go another 200 and something million, and it's been out almost a month now. So I don't think that might get there. Obviously, this came out in May. This was obviously a hit movie. Hail Mary, I'd say was done well. Pegasus 5, I don't even. Pegasus 3, don't know what that is. Obsession. So the seventh movie on the list. Now we're already under $500 million for the year. Now keep in mind, get back to like 2019, and there's like 7 $1 billion movies, and everything else is up in here. So this was made obviously on a shoestring budget. So obviously that's a huge hit for it. I don't know what Hoppers is. Backroom also has a small budget, so that would be another hit movie. I haven't seen that. Star Wars and Mandu and Grogu. That's was considered a flop. Wuthering Heights, scary movie. I think that's funny. It had a small budget, but I think so. I think it's technically considered a success, even though I heard it's terrible. I would say this probably didn't make its money back. Scream 7. It's a horror movie. That one might have made its money back. Goat. Is that the kids movie? Play a basketball team. That probably did not make its money back. That was an animated movie with us, so there's a shot that that budget may have been decent. Minions, not done too well. Mortal Kombat, would say didn't do that well. You know, I thought that was a fine movie too. That one might not have as well. He-Man's obviously struggled. Supergirl struggled. I don't think that movie did that. Just probably didn't do that well. Just going off the ones I know here. I wonder what that movie's budget was. I would say that movie didn't do that well. These are awesome. That was a beginning of the year movie. Iron Lung. That was probably cheaply made, so that may have been okay. I'd say that didn't do well. That didn't do well. That probably didn't do well. That probably didn't. I like that movie too. Don't think that did that well. I don't know a lot of some of these B movies are, but I say a lot of movies aren't hitting their what people want their box office numbers that the people are wanting to hear. Do we? I don't know if we know anything about. Do we know anything about the budget for this? Any numbers for it yet? Evil Dead Burn budget. Do we have an idea? Evil Dead's box office projection of the franchise lowest in 33 years. That goes back to what, the Army of Darkness? I just say everybody's movie. Nobody's movies are doing that well. Like one movie's like going nuts and everyone else is falling off. So yeah, they don't know anything about the budget. Estimated in the 20 to 30 million range. So if that's right, it's gonna be fine. It's gonna make money. It's gonna even if it's got like a 10 million weekend opening. That'd be American. You know, I mean, horror movies, R-rated movies don't usually do great overseas. It's probably going to make about 60, 70 million at least in its total run. So it'll be fine. But I mean, everyone's going to be like, oh, it's terrible because it doesn't have $1 billion. So we live in a world where everything is either great or absolutely sucks. That's how everyone rates everything these days, which is absolutely ridiculous because it's a hate culture world. The movie's fine. And I've gone off on that tangent a little too long. So sorry. Not sorry. Until next time, Cachorro out.